The journey worth taking is the journey within you. Everybody has their own story and their own journey to share. Every journey conceals another journey within its lines, the path not taken and the forgotten angle. The journey within you, where you will listen to stories from others sharing their triumphs and struggles that led them to where they are today. Welcome to the journey within you. I am honored and just blessed to have a dear friend, Angelina Rivera. And Angelina and I became friends and knowing each other through a mutual coach, Brooke Hemingway, who has totally blessed our lives, right?
Yes, absolutely.
She is an amazing woman, and she's brought a lot of people together, and we've all become forever friends, I think. So I am just excited to hear your story. You're married. This is your birthday month. Woohoo! We get to celebrate a birthday. You did do a big move and joining Brooke's mastermind, which is just going to bless you to the 100%. I know. I came very close to doing that. And then your passion, and I want to talk about that. You know, you can lead into that about your passion with mental health and what that means to you, not even personally, but also for others. And so, Angelina, let's hear your story.
All right. So, as you know, my name is Angelina Rivera, and it is my birthday month. I will turn 43 on February 23rd. So, super excited about that. I'm married to my high school sweetheart.
Oh,
We met in high school when I was a freshman. We did not date. We were both with other people at that time, and then a year later, we started talking, and we went to a dance together, and then just kept talking. And it took us about a year to actually start dating because he was moving, I was moving, we were both moving out of our hometown,
oh,
and so we just didn't want to have a relationship. And he moved within driving distance from me shortly after I moved, and we just started talking again, and we connected, and we have been together ever since.
oh. How many
It's been
years?
a long journey. Married 19 years, together, I think we said 25. It's 25 years
Awesome.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, so it's been a good journey. We have two children. We have our son Marcus. He's going to be 23 this month. It's also his birthday month.
Oh, fun.
Yes. And then we have a daughter, Selena. She's going to be turning 20
Oh,
in April.
oh.
And in between, we had a miscarriage, but at
Mm,
5 months. So that
mm.
was a really hard time for us as a family.
Oh, yes.
And we've been through a lot of journeys, ups and downs, which is like what marriage is.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that we always hold on to in our marriage is that we never were surrounded by a healthy marriage. Or our parents both divorced,
Mm,
and we were young. But one of our goals was always to be, we don't know what a marriage looks like, but we
right.
want to work it out.
Well, you want to make it
And
happen.
so, yes, and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in. I mean, like I said, it hasn't always been fun. We've had a lot of issues, but we've, worked through them, and we have God centered in our marriage.
That's so
And that,
important right there. God-centered. I mean, I don't know how any marriage makes it without him being in the midst of it.
yes, yes. That during some of our hardest times, we realized that going to church together was gonna would help save our marriage.
Mm,
And not only that, just just the communication and things like that.
right. Getting
And
connected.
yes, connection is so important. We make sure to always have a date night. Some people always say, you always go to the same place. Well, that's okay because
It's your
familiarity is
favorite.
good, and it's our favorite.
Yeah.
And we like to support local communities. And the place that we like to go to all the time, my husband went to school with her family in high school. So it's kind of
Oh,
like,
so it's a neat
it's like,
connection there.
yeah, it's like going to visit family, but they just cook for you and everything.
Right. How well, that's awesome. We go to the same place too a lot of times because we just like the service and we like the food. So we're like, yeah, let's just go there.
Yes, yes.
And even with
And
traveling, we've made sure that we do the date nights too because, I mean, those are important. And I'm glad to hear that you do those as well. We had yesterday, we just made it our day. You know, we've been in Alabama going on our third week this week. And so we took some time and just got out and spent time together. And it was really nice.
Yes, in fact, when we go back and reflect on when we had some of the hardest times, and it was because we weren't making the time
Mm,
just to connect with each other and just talk to each other. And
right.
going to the grocery store is not considered a date, so we got to remind our kids that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But now they know that we have it. They know, okay, this day is usually we try to do it during the middle of the week, so it's not so busy, and the kids just know it's mom and
Mm-hmm.
dad's date night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's good.
so
They see that so they can think about that in their future lives.
yes, yes. So that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. So I graduated high school in 1998, and w so some of my life journey, I've worked in different aspects of different communities, different types of careers. When I first graduated from high school, I worked as a lab tech
Mm-hmm.
because I really was into science,
Oh yeah.
and so I was a lab tech intern for a building hardware company, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And that was fun, but it wasn't what I felt like I was driven to do.
Mm.
And so I thought I need something else. And so I worked there for a year and was going to college, the local college at the same time, which was very hard. And then trying to just work full time, go to school full time. It was quite challenging. And so we
Mm.
always had to make sure back then we had date night on Friday because we were dating back then.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was a struggle, and so I just didn't feel happy in that career, and I didn't like some of the politics involved, and so I ended up finding a place that I worked for 8 years after that as a document control specialist, and we worked for a company that made life support equipment for the military.
Oh wow.
And I really loved that job. It was a great job, except I was commuting about 45 minutes to an hour
Oh.
down a very stretchy highway that had was closed all the time. If
Mm.
anybody in Southern California knows about the Cajon Pass, that's one of what I would have to drive down.
Yeah.
And there were times after I had my son, there were times when there would be fires raging and
Right.
things
You
like
couldn't
that.
get
So it would
through.
take me
Yeah.
right, and I was nursing him, and so it would take me 5 hours sometimes just to go all the
Mm.
way around different avenues. And so I
That's
started looking
stressful.
at other, yeah, it was very stressful, especially when you're nursing and nobody else
Mm-hmm.
can feed your child but you.
Right. Right.
So I started looking for other jobs, and it took me quite some time. But once I found another job, it was right after my daughter turned, shortly after she was born. I think it was like a couple of years later. I found a job at working for the Department of Defense, and I
Mm-hmm.
still have a commute. However, it's 45 minutes the opposite direction. It's not that bad
Mm.
of a commute. The
Mm-hmm.
traffic's not that bad.
Mm.
And for a couple of years, me and my husband were actually working together, and that was really fun because we got to,
Oh.
see each other and commute together.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids went to
Mm-hmm.
the daycare on base, so it was an amazing opportunity, and just to get to the family dynamics was really good.
Do you have military background, or is this just something that you came into?
I come from a family of the military. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, my family, um, my great grandpa came to California because of the military. He
Okay.
worked for the Marine Corps. He
Okay.
was in the Marine Corps, and my grandma worked at the same place that I work at right now. She was the
Oh,
first journeyman mechanic.
that's awesome.
Uh, yeah, my husband, his family was in the military as well. His stepdad was in the military,
Mm.
and so it's kind of been like
Yeah.
something we both didn't go into, but we both
But
feel
fell
we support
into
the
it.
vets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very highly associated with the veterans. We like to help support the community,
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
I love supporting the warfighter. It's one of my passions,
Mm-hmm.
and I see a lot of um,
Need.
anything I can do to help
Mm-hmm.
support them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I try to do whatever I can.
Mm.
I take pride in my job because what I do impacts a warfighter every day.
That's awesome. That is beautiful.
And so
And how long have you been with that
when we
job?
17 almost 17 years.
Oh, yeah. So that is your
Yeah.
passion. If you've been that long, you know you're on the right path.
Yes, it's something I started as a secretary, and then worked my way up. Now I'm a production branch head. So I manage production. I manage the back shops in charge of like our centralized disassembly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
our steam, blast, dip tanks, weld, machine shop, fabrication, sheet metal, body,
Beautiful. I
and
love
paint.
it.
So I touch everything three times in my shops because we take vehicles in, we disassemble them to the
Mm-hmm.
bare metal,
Mm-hmm.
and we blast them, and then and paint them, and then all the components come through me, and then we go through final paint. So everything
Wow.
comes to me three times. So
Wow.
it's a chaotic job, it's a fun job, and it can have it has its ups and
Oh
downs. But the
yeah.
majority of what I do is I know that I'm impacting and making
Mm-hmm.
something to help the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
warfighter.
And you get to bless each piece of equipment that goes through there. Yeah, that
Yes,
is,
yes.
oh, that's incredible.
My husband was a mechanic there for a couple of years. I think he worked about 7 years there,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got sick. What he ended up doing the medical retirement because he has some mental health
Mm,
issues, and that started me on my next passion project that I'm hoping that I will be launching
mm-hmm.
this year.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is going to be is a a safe place for families and loved ones who have people who suffer from mental health, because I know that when I was going through some of the highs and low, the
Yeah,
lows
the hard
of what his
days. Yeah.
diagnosis was, there was nothing to reach out for, nothing to, like when you have families of those who have alcohol
Mm-hmm.
issues,
Mm-hmm.
there's Al-Anon,
Mm-hmm.
and I just couldn't find anything at that time. And just recently I found something, but it was only for adults,
Mm,
helping those with,
mm.
but there was nothing to help
The
the
younger
children.
people.
And
Yeah.
yes. And so I'm going to create a space for everything, how to help for the children. And I'll bring in my children to talk about some of the things that they were able to, what helped them get through the
Mm-hmm.
hard times,
Mm-hmm.
as well as what we do now as a family. Because if you looked at where we were 15 years ago to where we are now,
You wouldn't
it's
think you would
totally
have
different.
made it. Mm,
Correct.
mm,
Did not think we would make it.
mm.
Um,
It's
and
it's
because,
sad that
go
there
ahead.
is no resources still today, really. I mean, or if they are, they're so overwhelmed that you're on a wait list or you never get in. Or I mean, I'm dealing with some of that now on some personal family, and it's like you're up against a brick wall.
Yes, yes.
And I
And it was,
go
when
ahead.
you don't know where to turn,
No.
it's one of the hardest things is
Mm-hmm.
you can't Google, what do I do? And for this, and it, that's where I didn't realize how much of an impact that what they want to do when you have a loved one with mental health. They just want to say, okay, these are the medications they're going to take, and you think, okay, that's going to help them, but and sometimes the medication turns them to a zombie, and they
Oh,
don't even
yes.
know
Yes. They don't even know who they
how to
are, how to
function.
function. Right. Right. That frustrates me to no end.
Yes, and they're always just quick to edge to medicate instead
Mm-hmm.
of helping them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's taken us quite some time, but we've learned how to navigate, through healthy supplementation, making sure that we're exercising our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that we're doing self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, for me personally, I felt like I was so lost at what I needed to do, and I would just became numb to a lot of things, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't healthy for myself. Where at
Mm-mm.
one point, I even had to go on medication,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
because the doctor was like, "Oh, we'll just medicate you,"
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize like this is not the life to live,
No, no.
and
Mm. That has to be so hard too because you're like, I'm supposed to be helping him. And here I am. I'm
yeah,
suffering now because I feel like I don't know how to help him. And so now I'm needing it just as bad as he is. And so you're both battling that at the same time. So I know that had to be really hard. And your kids were younger
yes,
too. So
yeah, it was extremely hard time for all of us around. And 1 in 4 families suffer, or 1 in 4 people suffer from mental health,
mm,
and that could be anything from an eating disorder, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. There's a
addiction.
lot of things out
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, addiction.
I
And
think, do
what
you
they
think
do
those
is
numbers have grown over the last couple of years?
um actually it's 2 and 4 now, I believe. It was 1 and 4 a couple of years ago, and I
Mm-hmm.
think now that because of COVID, it's now 2 and 4,
That's just
which
so sad.
in my family we have 4 people, and I can tell you for sure 2 of them have mental health issues.
Mm, mm,
And so the support, the need for helping those people is out there. And it's been something heavy on my mind. And one of the things before when I joined the mastermind, I didn't know what I was going to do. And I just this has kept hitting at me, like,
mm-hmm.
you need to support. And
Mm-hmm.
people would say, what do you want to do when you retire? Well, when I can retire, it's going to be years from now. And I kept, well, when I retire, I'm going to open this
Right.
organization or start this community.
Right.
And Brooke Hemingway is like, why don't you do it now? You don't have to wait till you retire. You can start the
Exactly.
Facebook page. You can start the Instagram,
Yeah. Start
start doing it
building.
now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's my passion project, and that's what I'm working on. And it's just going to be, tips, self-care tips, because the loved ones, like I said, for myself, I almost like lost who I was and stopped taking care of myself. Or I had a bad habit of I would just go shop to numb myself,
Mhm.
go
Mhm.
shop, buy all
Mhm.
these clothes that I didn't
Mhm.
need instead
Mhm.
of exercising my body,
Right, right. And
taking a
eating the
shower,
things that you need to
self-care.
eat. Yeah, eating the right
Right.
foods that will build your stamina and mind. And we're so quick to just go to the things that harm us more when we're trying and
Yes,
searching to get better.
yes, exactly.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so through my own self-care journey, I started running. I don't run as much anymore because of my job, but I started running to help me with just the stress relief,
Mhm.
and that really
Mhm.
helped.
Mhm.
I at times pace, which means you help a group of people reach a target goal for half marathons.
Oh,
I do
nice.
that,
Oh, fun.
volunteer for that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things that I've learned, and if it's not, it took a while to get to where I'm at today, where I can even talk about the journey that I've been through,
Yeah, because it's
because
very
there was just,
painful. Mm.
yes, yes.
And some people don't
And
believe
so,
how deep it is because they're like, well, you look so happy. I hear that all the time about me.
yes,
You're smiling all the time. You just don't see me
mhm,
behind closed doors sometimes. There's lots of tears too.
yeah,
It's just when we have family and we are people we love and they're going through things that you want to help and them change, you hurt.
yes, exactly.
You hurt bad
There's
for them.
just, and that some people just don't want to talk about it.
Mm-mm, they
Um,
don't.
I, I, I know that there's a lot of people out there. One of the things that they just don't want to talk because they're either ashamed of what happened to
Mm-hmm.
them, they
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to voice it,
Mm-hmm.
they're scared of rejection,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to be vulnerable because they don't want to be attacked.
Right.
And
And look
so,
down upon, or, who do you think you are that's going to be able to help me? Because I'm worthless. So they already feel
right,
that way. Um,
yes,
that is a passion of mine too, to just see change. I want change for these people, and especially the young people of our next generation, because it's impacting them so bad. Um, there's just too many that are struggling and don't believe in themselves and don't think they're worth anything, and they don't know which direction to go or who to reach out to.
yes, exactly. And one of the things that, I've learned to do is find something that helps us, a healthy activity, something
Mm,
that we can do together.
I
And so
like
one of
that.
the things that my husband loves to do is he loves to do remote control cars.
Mm-hmm.
He loves
Mm-hmm.
to work on them. He loves to crawl with them. Like we go to the rocks and we
Yep.
go and crawl them.
Yep.
So I learned to do that habit. And I actually sometimes I'm like, honey, let's come. I come home. I'm like, we need to go crawl. And so we'll go to the mountains and crawl. And that's a good activity. We're getting outside.
You're doing it
We're getting
together.
fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it together. And it is actually pretty darn fun.
And you don't even
And
have to say anything to each other because you're going for a purpose. And even if you don't talk, you're doing something that's
yes,
changing you.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. And and through that we've had an amazing community of friends that we've become connected to. He's now a rep for an organization that is strictly to help veterans with um, with doing crawling to help them with their mission is to help vets with PTSD and
Oh,
mental health issues.
look at
And so
that.
that's something that we started. He became a part of that as a member in October of 2022.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that has just been
A light
such a
bulb for
blessing.
him. Oh,
Yes, yes.
that gives me
And so
chills
there's just,
because that just connected him big time in him helping someone
right.
else. Oh, that's
Yes. And all
beautiful.
it does is takes one person that you
Mm-hmm.
can make an impact on.
That's it.
And then that's all we're striving for
Mm-hmm.
is just one person. We're not going to reach everybody with our message, but I just need to reach that one person
Yes.
to help that one person realize that their life matters.
Yes. 100% on
And
that too.
they have a community that loves them. There are people there that'll pray for them. That'll people there that just want to. They'll be there just to listen. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's all you need is someone just to listen,
Right, right. That's what I've said
just hear what
before.
you
I'll
have.
just be the ears. I'll be the ears for you, you know? Just tell me, and then we can just pray or we can just continue to listen. I don't have to say a word.
Right.
Mm,
Because sometimes that's all they want to do is just talk.
yeah, and it helps them so
Talk.
much.
Correct. Correct.
Mm. So now in your family, you've got a kind of good routine going, and the kids still live at home, or are they out on their own?
They still live at home. My daughter did go away for college for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but her health was not doing so well, and
Mm.
the community that we had her at wasn't just the right community for
Right,
her. So
right.
she is back at home, and it works. Our family dynamic it works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My son is actually a mechanic that works with me,
Oh, awesome.
so we get to commute together, and that's good.
Yeah.
And what we do is like some of the family things that we do is we make sure that we have family meals planned out, because that's one of the things that I would like to have other families members help or
Mm-hmm.
with this mental health community is that when you have schedule and you have structure,
Mm-hmm.
it helps
Stability.
so much stability.
Mm-hmm.
And so we communicate what we're going to cook for the week, who's going to cook it. We do meal planning. We have a family calendar that is color coded for each person's work schedule, or any activities that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, anybody can look at that calendar and know who's, going to be home which day or what hours.
Oh, that takes a lot of stress away because you're not constantly bugging each other. What are you doing today? Who's cooking the food? What are we having? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it just helps us keep us organized.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I have done about in 2017, I became a black belt certified black belt, which is
Awesome.
in process improvement,
Uh-huh.
Lean Six Sigma, and basically that's looking at how you organize things, and that's what I do for my work, and I like to practice that
At
into our
home.
family as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yes,
You can teach me a few
color
things.
coding.
I'm willing to
Yeah,
learn. That would be awesome.
yeah,
I think some days I'm organized and I'm like, no, you're not. You need some
and
help.
you don't understand. Just having a little bit of a clear space,
Mm-hmm.
like when you make your coffee in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that your coffee cup and your coffee pods are all right by the coffee machine, because when you're tired and you want to make sure that you're not, that's how you start your day. You want to make sure it's an easy way to start your day. If your coffee cups aren't right and you have to go here and there and all this movement, it's called waste. And then you just get a bad attitude because
Starts
you
your
had to
morning
walk too
wrong.
much.
Yeah, and so I can check
Yeah,
that box off because I've got my coffee pot and my cup is always washed out and sitting right next to it. So I'm good on that one.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
That's one thing.
yeah.
I have slowly been taking things and doing that just from like what you say, learning from you or learning from someone how it's improved their day. And so I've tried to do that. Okay, well maybe I need to do that because my schedule is crazy. We travel all over the country, and I don't know where I'm going to be like well, I do, but like because I plan our calendar. But you know, just getting up and starting your day the same every day, and it's a little different than when I get up at home and start every day. It's a different space, you know. So I have to get kind of in the rhythm. Once I get back in the RV, I'm kind of like, okay, now my mindset's in here, and I need to start my day this way, and it works. But you got to stay consistent and with the habits, and
Hmm.
it's just important to do that so you do have a good day.
Right, because that just makes or breaks your day. One of the things that I know that I will not do is I will not hurry up and pick up my phone when I wake up.
Mm,
I will not. I will start my routine, you know, do some prayer, things like that.
mm-hmm.
Because once I start, if I pick up my phone, I'm going to probably see a message or see something negative that I don't need to see, and that just
Right.
puts me in a bad mood, puts me behind my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
your a lot of the times I think that our brain is so addicted to that blue light on our
Oh
phone,
gosh,
and that
yes.
just triggers all kinds of other issues. I also follow the same routine at night. I do the 3-2-1 method.
Do you?
No food 3 hours before I eat. I mean, before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
2 hours of no working, and on anything, because on top of, I work full time. I have my gut health supplement
Right.
business.
Right.
Now I'm working on this new business
Mm-hmm.
venture. I got to learn how to shut my brain off. So 2 hours before, I don't have the phone on, or not working. I mean, and then 1 hour no phone.
Yeah.
I actually try to do when I stop working. I try to put the phone down too. I
Yeah.
just don't need it.
Yeah, I need to practice that a little bit better because I'm real bad about laying in bed and scrolling. And it's just because I'm comfortable and I'm like, okay, now I can just, but I've been scrolling already. So I really don't need to be bringing it to the bed.
Right. Because, yeah, you don't need to be bringing it to the bed.
Mm-mm. I mean, it just takes your mind to all different places. And then you lay there trying to go to sleep and you're thinking about all those things. Um,
Hmm.
I would leave it in the other room, but then I'm a grandma, mama, daughter. I like to have it near just in case something happens while we're on the road and I get a call. I like it near. So I do keep it beside the bed, but there's no reason I don't need to be picking it up.
Right. So when you set your time that you're gonna like lay down, you
Mm-hmm.
might even just use it to do a meditation app. There's some lots of
Great
meditation apps to
idea.
help you.
Yeah.
Use that. Then you can go to once you're, relaxed, put that phone to the
Mm-hmm.
space, within reaching distance so that you can use it in case your loved ones call you.
Right. I
Because
turn
I
it
understand
over
that as
even.
well.
I turn it over so it's not lit if it does light up. I do have it on a focus time from 12 to 2 every day. And that's just a
Hmm.
time that I'm not scrolling or posting or doing. And I do use my phone for work as well. But I can use my computer for my job that we do, traveling. And then my gut health supplements and setting up my podcasts and all. But it's intentional work that I'm using,
Right.
not just being on there to be talking, or scrolling. So, it has changed a lot of our lives by having that phone. Not always
Hmm.
good.
Right. And so I like the way that Brooke Hemingway has said about it. When you're going to pick up that phone, what is your intention?
Mm-hmm.
What is your
Mm-hmm.
purpose when you're picking that up?
Yeah,
You
I
know?
learned how to do the like she said she'd scroll all the reels and pick up ideas, and so I started setting my time to do that. And okay, I've gotten enough, boom, done with that, and then making my
Mhm.
reels, trying to be intentional in making them, and now I can schedule my posts. So I do some of those throughout the day, plus have ones that I just like to add because I know sometimes they say the scheduling doesn't always bring in people or whatever. But I know people are seeing my stuff when they need to see it. I don't worry about that as bad as some people do, but um, I have gotten better since I can schedule posts. That makes it kind of fun. And
Right, right.
getting it all done at one time and not have to, all throughout the day thinking, oh, what am I going to post? But yeah,
Yeah.
so, oh, I love this journey. I love this journey. Now, where are you in California?
I'm in Southern California.
Okay, in Southern. All right, beautiful. We're going to be out in California. I think at the end of 1st of March through the middle of March, right to the end almost. We'll be out there almost a month. We'll be near Mount Madonna and Gilroy, and then we'll be over in San Luis Obispo, which is a beautiful, beautiful area. And then we'll be near San Diego County. We'll be out in that area. So get the
Okay, so I'm closer to San Diego
awesome,
then.
awesome. Yeah, we'll be coming
Yeah.
out there working for about we'll be out there 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 days in that area. So I'll see how far we are from you. I don't know how
Yeah.
we'll be when we get out there, but usually it's not so close. We're in the area, but usually we're out in the boonies when we work, so we're not always accessible to get to. But well, Angelina, I appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you're doing, your passion for others. Living through something like this has given you the wisdom to share with others and to help them. That's so important. We need those people, and so I'm thankful that God has chosen you. Um, I know that I was telling you a minute ago, I was saying, Angelina, messenger of God. That is just beautiful. And that's something that you need to cling on to. You are a messenger of God and you're leading people and you're improving their lives. And like you said, if it impacts one, you've done what God called you to do. So I just want to
Yes.
thank you for coming on today. And look forward to hearing more about your journey as you go along.
Yes, I'm super excited. I already set up my IG, I've set up the Facebook page, and just really excited to help, it's going to be called Angie's Place,
Oh,
and it's mental health and family support
Oh,
connections.
that's great.
So,
I'll get that from you so that I can add
mhm,
that to our podcast so people can have that link to go to. So, to the
sure.
pages. So, once we get off and you can send it to me and then I'll have it available for them when we post the podcast. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right.
Sounds
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining my podcast today. We all have a story to share. Each story has purpose and makes an impact to you, the listener. creating a journey with passion and purpose. The journey we're taking is the journey within you. Please share with others and subscribe below.